Welcome to Futuristic Tech Trends. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for notifications.
Hello everyone, welcome again. In this video we will talk about the factory design pattern. Uh, it's one of the most common design patterns actually that is used in object-oriented programming. And we will explain you the factory design pattern with the help of real-world examples so that you can relate to the implementation that we do in accordance with the real world scenarios that you have seen around. So let's start. So factory design pattern is basically a creational pattern. So it it means that the pattern in which the different instances or the classes are created, for example, or different instances are created. The basic logic behind the factory design pattern is that you the classes uh, and or the way the objects are created, that creational logic is hidden from the object creational logic is hidden from the client that are using this, that are creating the objects actually. So we hide how the objects are created from from our clients. So let me explain you now this with the help of an. So let's suppose we want to create two different kind of cars. One is a normal sports car, and the other is, let's say, an army car, an army vehicle or something. And we will use a factory class to create those those products, or yeah, those products you can say. And this client will be using our factory actually to create uh, those products, but it won't have the knowledge of how the products are created. So in our example, we will have, let's say, one class to create, let's say, sports car class. The other class will be called army car, let's say, and an interface a car interface with a function, let's say, make car. Actually, these two will be implementing this interface. So this make car will be implemented here, and it will, let's say, give us an output string, let's say sports car string will be written, and this make car function here will write an output string on console which is called army car. Okay, so this is our, you can say, the creational logic. This is all the creational logic from here to here. This is all our creational logic of the products. And now this interface car will be used by our factory class, which will be called car factory. So this car factory class will have a function called get car, and we will pass it a string, let's say string car, whatever car you want to make. Let's say if we pass here sports car, if this string is sports car, if sports car, then it will return the object of class sports car, or it will, let's say, do sports car dot make car. it will call this, or it can only return the, and if for example the string is army car, then it will return the army car object, this car factory. So this car factory is kind of creating these products, which are sports car and army car, okay, which are derived from this, which are implementing this car uh, interface. Now our client class is going to use this, which will have a main function, is going to use this, let's say, uses this car factory to create these objects. So this is actually basically the concept of this whole factory method, or factory design pattern, So our client is using this factory to create these objects, So it doesn't know how these objects are created. So this logic is kind of hidden from our client applications. The logic of creating of our products, or logic of creating of our car, is being hidden from the client. So let us write some, let me write these classes. I already explained you what kind of functions will all these classes contain, but we can really write them in a more neat and clean way. Yeah, so let us start to implement these classes now. We can keep this diagram hanging on the side to see how we will. So first of all, we write this interface. So this is a public, I think I don't need to write these keywords, you know all that. Public interface car, which has a function which is called make car. This function will be implemented in our two concrete classes, sports car and army car. So class sports car implements car. So now this is an implementation of make car function, which actually is doing a printing. I can write uh, sports car done. So it is completed sports car. It says this. And then our next class is class army car implements car. So now we are again gonna have another implementation of make car function. Okay, these are two brackets, and print, this is parenthesis, army car done. So this is this part of this part of the code that is done. And now we are going to create our factory class. Let's create our factory class here. Class car factory. Car factory. So this class factory has a function called get car, which returns an object, class object called car, get car, and it has a string passed to it, which will be which car, string car name, let's say. So we can pass sports car to it and army car to it. So if car name, there's a bracket again, is equal to sports car. Then return sports car object. If, or new sports car you can say. We return an object, so we write here new sports car. If car name is equal to army car, return new army car object. Okay, else return null. You know. So this is how our factory class will look like. Now our client class, let's say this is our client class, CL, oops, client class. We need to find more stronger colors. Client, this is class client, will use this factory, class factory, to create those cars, you know, sports car and army car. So this client class, these are the brackets. Let's say it will use a new car factory. So it creates a new car factory object. Okay, so let's call it car underscore factory. So then we will use car underscore factory dot, we will use this function get car from the car factory dot get car, and we will pass here a string called sports car. So this function will give us back our car car one, because you know the car factory, it returns a car object. Similarly, car object car object car2, because it the car underscore factory returns the car object. So get car, and we give an input called army car. So now if we will say car1 dot make car, we will call this function make car, we call like this. And after that, if we call car2 dot make car, then our output will be, let's do it in black color, our output will be sports car done first, car done, and next line will be army car done, what was printed here in the car classes. So you see we were able to create these two cars, sports car and army car, using our client, but inside our client, but we don't know how, you know, how these cars were created. Actually, the car client used the car factory dot get car method, and this returned us car1 and car2. You know, car factory dot get car is returning us the car1 and car2 objects, and from car1 and car2 object we call the make car object, and we see we got the sports car done and the army car done. You know, so this is how the factory pattern will actually look like. So you know, this, I think it's a very you know, it's very simply explained to you all. So I can really talk about some other real-time examples of the factory method. Let's say, for example, in the in place of these two cars, let's say we have a system where we want to use SQL database, and we want to use, let's say, uh, some other kind of a database, let's say some XML, database. So in the same way, we can create, we can have some, uh, interface class which is just going to, implement this, for example, storing and getting of the data from XML database or SQL database or any other database that can be added later on, because we can add as many products as possible. And this whole logic, this creational logic will be used by our factory, which we can say database DB factory. This DB factory is going to, for example, if we pass some argument that, we want to use the SQL database to store the data, or XML database to store the data, so it will, based on that input, it will select which database we want to store or we want to use the data, and this database factory will be used by the client, so the client uses this database factory to, to kind of store data, and doesn't know how the data is stored. Actually, it is just telling the database factory that I want to store the data in the XML format or in the SQL format, and then this database factory is using these two classes to store this data in the particular formats. Of course, you can have, as I said, as many as possible here. You can have JSON kind of a format to store data. You can have any other format to store data. So you can, it's very um, very expandable system. Easily you can expand it to as many products as possible using the factory. And it keeps your creational logic, this creational logic, separated from the client. The client is encapsulated from the client. The client doesn't know how your products are being created. The client is just talking to the database factory. So this is one other example of the.
That was awesome, thank you.
Please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for notifications.